Hello YouTube, Captain Brony449 here. I'm going to do another fanfic reading. This one's really short though. So yeah. It is called One Last Dying Wish by Sassianakin. There's only one chapter. It's probably only gonna be about 5 minutes long. It's supposed to be a really sad one. I got this from like the top 10 MLP Fanfics on femfiction.com. So it should be good. I haven't read it yet. This is my first time reading it, so I'm going to experience it just like you are. Should be good. I know it's about Twilight and Rarity, and I'm not going to say anything else. So I might post it in the description, but other than that, I'm just gonna read. So yeah, One Last Dying Wish. One chapter. Lay your head down. It saddened Twilight Sparkle to see the stiff body of her friend in a hospital bed, attached to so many tubes that the alicorn didn't dare to count, let alone look at. She didn't need to be reminded about the critical state her dear buddy was in, as if staring at her, waiting for her to wake up, doesn't help at all. Rarity would be the last to go. Ironically, it wouldn't be old age that would be taking the life, but instead, a small carriage accident. A careless carriage driver had struck her dead on, leaving the injured mare in the middle of the street as if he was afraid he'd be executed for it. Twilight had half the mind to go and track down this pony and give him a piece of her mind. But, with Rarity demanding Twilight's attention, the lavender mare decided to push all of her thoughts of lecture away and focus on making sure her friend made this out alive. Beneath her white eyelids, Twilight noticed a speck of blue flutter as Rarity let out a groan. Twilight nearly bounced up and down with glee at the sight of the gorgeous mare waking up. They didn't have to say goodbye yet. In her excitement, the Princess of Friendship barely noticed a slight tear stroll down her pal's cheek and the whimper that followed.
"Pain,"
Rarity muttered, struggling to lift her hoof up to her mangled mane, but stopped once she'd seen how difficult it is.
"So much pain."
Twilight felt her own tears slip from her violet eyes as she listened closely to her friend.
"You'll feel pain for a little while. Don't worry though. It'll be over before you know it. And then we'll be back hanging out and talking as much as you like, just like old times. Except..."
The memory fizzled through Twilight's mind, and she was barely able to control her sobs. It was of Applejack, lying there on a medical bed as she convulsed uncontrollably, leaving the doctors and Twilight watching as her spasms slowed to a halt. By that time, the Earth Pony had ceased to breathe, and the doctor confirmed her to be dead.
"Twilight, darling, is that you?"
Rarity spoke, her words faint as a white alicorn attempted to turn her head. She looked ghastly compared to the mare she was beforehand. A bandage was wrapped around her face, splitting off to reveal her horn and covering over her right eye. Several cuts and bruises littered her body, more noticeably being a long, deep cut drifting down her side.
"I look like a wreck, don't I?"
After a moment of hesitation, Twilight nodded her head, as she witnessed the look of horror flash through the other mare's visible eye.
"But we can fix you up later, when we get back to the castle. It won't be long until you're back to your home, running your shop, just like you were back in the day. Don't worry, they'll make sure you live."
It was obvious that Rarity had struggled with the attempt to keep her eyes open. Twilight could see her eyelids weakly falling at each passing second. She must be very tired.
"Well, I'll be on my way then. I'll see you again soon, Rarity. This time, I'll bring those daisy sandwiches you love so much."
Rarity murmured, as if the thought of given food made her hungry. Either that, or she was moaning. Twilight nodded and got out of her chair. However, before she could leave, Rarity told her to stop.
Could you sing me a lullaby? Anyone would do greatly, darling. I could use the help to get to sleep.
Twilight didn't know how to respond, but she sat back and began to sing anyways. She sang a song her mother used to sing when the alicorn was just a little filly. Twilight did not know how she remembered all of it, but as she lulled Rarity into a comforting sleep, the words sort of came back to her. Taking a look down at her dozing pal, Twilight smiled and trotted towards the door. As soon as she made it to the doorway, Twilight's attention was ripped into a sound that echoed through her mind. Twilight had only heard it 4 times before, and it pulled her spirit to hear it for the 5th time. A flatline. Twilight insisted she was hearing things, that her mind was playing tricks on her in an attempt to stop the flow. However, as she closed the thick door behind her, the waterworks broke. In a heartbeat, she went from confident to bursting into a sob, kneeling on the floor and resting her head on the chair. The princess's mind flashed through every happy memory she had with her friends. The time they had defeated Tirek, when they found the keys to the chest, when they had saved the Tree of Harmony, when they had managed to finish Star Swirl the Bearded's ancient spell. Twilight remembered watching all the Pinkie Pies running about, the defeat of King Sombra and the return of the Crystal Empire, the wedding of her brother and Princess Cadence. She remembered it all as she cried her eyes out onto the chair, unable to stop the flow.
I never had the chance to say goodbye to any of them,
Twilight bawled, her voice cracking as she spoke.
They all died so suddenly. I never thought I'd live to see the day theirs ended.
The lavender, winged unicorn had a group of amazing friends she couldn't live without. Now, she was all alone, and it hurt her inside to feel so lonely. It was cold, dark, and fearsome being without even the last of her friends. Twilight Sparkle's mind flashed to when she first met the rest of the main 6, and how much she distanced herself. She didn't realize how much those 5 ponies would be so important to the bookworm. Now, Twilight sees how wrong she was. The light purple pony showed how magical friendship was, and now it was gone. Okay. That is it. That was pretty short. That was sad. Either that or I've been talking too long. As soon as it started, you know something bad happened. I don't have words. I literally don't have words. That was sad. Imagine all of your friends dying in front of you, one by one, and then you have no friends left. That would suck so badly. I've actually had that happen before, but it wasn't in front of me. It was actually my grandma, and I kind of got there too late. So yeah, I know how that feels. The thing I wish the author would have included was the lullaby that she sang. That would have made it so much sadder. It would have made it so much more powerful. That would have made it better for sure. Yeah, I was kind of sad when it didn't say what the lullaby was. And she was like literally at the door when she flatlined. That would... No. No. Bad. No. Bad. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm done here. Hope you guys liked it. This was my first reading of it, and I hope it was your first hearing of it. I hope it was good. Yeah. Do the usual. comment, rate, subscribe. I will be posting more videos soon. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you at my next video. Bye, YouTube.